Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike.
Hi, Uncles.
Hi, Emery.
Hi, Emery.
I'm Uncle Justin.
I'm Kyle. I'm not in this situation. I'm not an uncle.
No, he's the dad.
Because I'm bad.
I'm Joe.
Okay, we're doing something a little different this week. We're creating a new mini-series. We're doing a retrospective of sorts on specifically the MCU. We're going to go through each movie in release order and give our rating, have a little quibble, maybe a little love fest. When it comes down to it, we're going to have the official Marvel ranking for not only each movie, but how well the Marvel Universe has done overall. We will be judging them mathematically. And all I ask of the group, no, not air quotes, we're judging.
No, the judging wasn't the air quotes. It was the mathematically.
No, there will be math involved, so technically I could use the words mathematically.
It's a 2.
Well, then he's not here.
We've decided series and feature specials don't count.
Yeah.
Just theatricals.
Just theatrical stuff.
34?
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point.
Hated it.
It's pretty blanket statement.
Snap, snap, and around the world.
I'm interested to see, like, all said and done, not even, like, what movie you scored the lowest, but what everybody's lowest and highest scores were. Like, what is the range of scoring for each person?
Nothing's getting above a 50.
Nothing's getting above what?
A 50.
Yeah. Vinny.
Alright, let's come right out of the gates.
Raw.
The one that put the whole deal on the map, Iron Man.
Sucked.
So that's your character tonight?
I am fucking so bitter with life right now. This is the happiest you're getting.
I guess it didn't get fixed, huh?
Oh, not yet, Kyle. No.
Oh, okay.
My personal criteria for judging all these things are based on 4 different subjects. Acting, story, effects, and comic feel. Acting-wise, I got to give that movie a 23. Everyone was on point. Every last
true.
one. Story, 22. I mean, it was pretty Iron Man. Sure, it's a great way to start off. Effects, 24. Everything was on point, except for a couple of missed moments toward the end. And comic feel, 22, because they really diverted in a lot of ways, but ways that needed to.
Hold on a fucking second.
What?
You gave that 24 out of 25 for its effects?
Yeah.
And we've had 34 movies since then?
Yeah.
See, this is the problem. You're proving me right. I knew that you were going to be the opposite of Vinny. Vinny was going to be Captain Tank, and you were going to be Captain Lickass. So, I'm not discrediting Iron Man's place in the history of the Marvel movies, but let's fucking be realistic here. Did it look good for the time? Absolutely. Does it look as good as some of the shit they're putting out now? No.
Okay, so then in context of the time, is it
Yes.
24?
In
Listen.
context of the time, yes.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be retrospective. So aren't we supposed to be looking at them all based on now?
Yeah.
Well, no. I don't think a retrospective is completely based on your current perspective.
I mean,
You're also talking about how you felt back then.
So wait, so before we go any further then, what was your total score when you add those all up?
91. Which, for Iron Man... Yeah.
All right.
For Iron Man, if you're saying Iron Man's under a 91, I don't trust you as a human being.
So, well, I scored my highest movie and then worked backwards based on that. And that's how I got the numbers that I got for each one. But I don't think a 91 is unreasonable.
I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think it deserves a 91.
Well,
Okay.
It's not your opinion. It's mine.
No, I'm just...
So who's next then?
Do you want me to go after you every time? To
Might
be,
as well.
to
Might as
be
well just go
more
in,
fucking
in
realistic about this shit?
More realistic. Life is Hell, Iron Man, about a 50.
No,
Well, no. I have a number in my head that if Justin goes under this number, like, this is going to be... We're going to cut the show short, I think.
I'm giving Iron Man 1 an 85.
Okay.
Not crazy. Obviously,
No.
I wouldn't agree with it.
It's your run-of-the-mill origin story. It's iconic for the Marvel movies because it was the first one they got, like, right. Effects were good for the time. But again, we're looking at this now, 34 movies fucking deep. And, they don't not hold up, but they don't blow your fucking dick off.
What are they, Schrodinger's effects?
Hey, man. So I think 85 is fair.
Okay.
Not going to quibble.
Let's go with Joe, and we'll have Kyle round out then.
For everyone, this will be the order for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Iron Man 1, I'm going to give it a 90.
Reasonable number.
Acting-wise, everybody knocked it out of the park. Definitely. Robert Downey Jr. just encapsulated friggin' Tony Stark right from the get-go. I'm looking at the effects, with the mindset of then. First time seeing the gold and friggin' red suit was probably one of the, just like the awe of it was so cool.
It's flawless.
Even the Mark 1 and 2 were great. Acting?
You started with that.
Yeah, I did start with that. What were your other criteria? It was acting.
You don't have to go by his.
I know, but I like that. I like that set.
Acting, story, effects, and comic feel. I'm doing like Jeopardy.
Had a great story and comic feel. It wasn't verbatim what happened in the comics, but it set the tone.
Okay, shoot a number out, Joe.
What's up?
He
You
said
get 90?
He said 90.
Yeah, I gave it a 90.
So now it's up to Kyle.
All right, so just so before I say my number, I was going to say if Justin gave it under an 82, we had to end the show immediately. That was the number in my head. I'm giving it an 86 because when I scored them all out, I can rationalize Iron Man out of 34 movies being like in the top 12 of the overall MCU. Right? Like, and if I'm grading it, like in my head, I'm grading this like old school grades on a report card where like anything below a 60 is a failure of a movie. Anything below a 70 is like a movie I probably don't want to watch again because that's a D. Right? But I wouldn't consider it an overall failure. And then from a 70 and up are all movies that I feel are rewatchable. But once we get into that like 80 plus are starting to become movies that like I would stop and watch whenever they're on TV. And like 90 plus are like movies that I'm sitting down and like focusing on whenever I see them on TV. That's kind of how I thought about it in my head. So Iron Man was a great way to start the MCU, and although I will leave it on anytime I see it on TV, it's not one that I need to sit down and focus on because I love it so much in the grand scheme of the universe. So it's like, I would say it's like right in that middle area of like, will I focus my attention on it, or is it just playing in the background whenever I pass it on the TV? But like, I think it's pretty rewatchable. I would say the biggest knock on it that I would have and this is, I mean, this will get revealed over time, but there are certain characters in the MCU that I feel like their villains are just underwhelming. And this is arguably Tony's best one-on-one villain. I mean, for different reasons. But, like, in terms of... I'm not saying Iron Man's best one-on-one villain, but Tony Stark's best one-on-one villain is Ironmonger. So...
Like an emotional and action level.
Yeah. It's like the difference between a villain who is a good villain for Batman versus a good villain for Bruce Wayne. That's kind of how I think about it. So, like, yeah, I can't really rationalize giving this movie an A in my head, but it's definitely like a B to B plus, for sure.
Okay. The group average is 88.
I think that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Second film, already a bit of a stumble coming out of the blocks. Incredible Hulk. That's right. It's part of the MCU. We got to touch on it. Not going to give nearly as much time or love as Iron Man did. Acting. It's full of really strong actors. I gave it a 21. Story. Story's actually pretty interesting. I enjoyed what they did with the character of the Hulk. So I gave that a 20. Effects. 15 is as nice as I can go.
Still too fucking generous, but okay.
And comic feel, a lot. He was a lot more Hulkish than the previous iteration to me. He was more the Hulk character, so I'm very kind to it in that respect. But it still wasn't great, so it gets a 17 for a total of 73. It's a barely passing film. I enjoyed so much about it.
I can't, by the look on Justin's face, I think we're going to be pretty close on most of this grading.
Yeah. I'm going to be nice. I'll give it a 40.
Wow.
Never mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
I've not liked any of the Hulk shit on its standalone movies. I mean, is it, if we were going to grade the Ang Lee one, I'd give that a 5.
Okay. Like,
for which category?
No, all of it. But
you said a 40?
A 40.
Good God.
I can't completely argue. This one I'm not going to be like, because like there's just something I enjoy about it, but watching it slightly, like from a different angle, like if I turn my body a little bit, yeah, I can understand how people could hate it.
Yeah.
Like, flat out despise that movie. It's just something I enjoy about it. Like, I give it a little bit of a, good job, good try. You tried. Whoa, boy, you tried.
You tried. Thanks for not having Hulk dogs in like an hour-long tree sequence, but I can't. That's as nice as I can be. Is a 40.
It's really not great.
Joe.
I gotta go with 45. It's not. No, I went back and I rewatched the MCU, and when I hit the Hulk or after Iron Man, I'm like, this movie's like, Edward Norton's a great actor. The acting is great because Edward Norton is freaking Edward Norton, and Tim Roth was great. But
Tim Roth's the only reason that movie got a 40.
The story. It doesn't hold me like, you know, the other MCU movies. It's like, oh, this is awesome, or, you know, it was like I had to like struggle through it.
Yeah.
Effects are not good in that movie. They're just not good.
Abomination.
There you go.
Lives up to his name in that movie.
Yeah.
And the Hulk doesn't look Hulkish enough. He looks way too ripped.
Mm-hmm.
You said 45?
Yeah.
Okay.
With his first two scores being a 90 and a 45, I have to anticipate Joe is not going to score many movies in the 60 to 75 range.
Maybe.
I mean, if Iron Man was a 90, I got to think that there's at least 8 movies he's got higher than that. And there's, whatever. There's a lot of movies in my head that are close to the ballpark of The Incredible Hulk, which is why I gave The Incredible Hulk a 64. because based on the grading scale that I said earlier, I don't think it's a failure of a movie. I think it had potential going forward if Norton wasn't so Norton and they didn't have to completely recast the character. I think there was something that could have carried that through into the actual universe, and but it's still, like, in my head, clearly one of the bottom 10 movies in the universe, and I can't give it a C. It's got to be like a lower end D grade.
I will tell you this: I will be nicer to the Eternals than I was to Hulk.
That is, well, I don't agree with that at all.
There's a point that when we get there, I will make it, because there's something that movie does, at least, that the Hulk movie does not.
Okay. We'll expound on that quite a bit. Incredible Hulk's average was sad. Incredible Hulk would definitely be repeating this school year with a 55.5. Actively torpedoed that, man. You canceled the radar on that movie and just hit the side of it.
Listen, I have to be honest. Whenever we go back to watch through the MCU, we don't watch the Hulk. I don't even fucking consider it in the fucking MCU proper. I know it is. I know it is. But I don't.
Okay. Next up on our list was obviously Iron Man 2. As far as acting goes, I mean, broke, don't fix it. But although, like, Mickey Rourke isn't really great. Everyone else is 110%.
Are you kidding me? Mickey Rourke is fantastic in that movie.
Good.
I want my birth.
My birth.
My bird.
My birth.
Hey, man.
The story was rushed.
I don't even stop.
Like a year and a half, maybe a year to put together the script.
Everyone actually
So it gets a 20 out of me. The effects are still great. Punchy, whiplashy, always cool, but not, nearly any better than the last one. So it was just 23. And overall comic feel, we got the Black Widow, good. Whiplash looked wrong, meh. But we got War Machine.
Justin fucking Hammer was in this movie.
He was. And as far as acting goes, he put a lot of those 22 points in there.
Yeah.
A good chunk of it. I give Iron Man 2, because it does have a lot of issues, an 85. I still think it passes.
See? I told you.
It's not good.
That's not a pass. That's a B.
Yeah, that's a B.
Movie.
That's being nice.
Great.
Well, then, yeah, it's a B movie.
That is not.
68. If it was not for the Justin Hammer of it all, I would absolutely skip this fucking movie too.
That's an F.
Because
That's an F.
what they did to poor Whiplash as a fucking character.
Don't act like you ever cared about him before it.
Dude, I remember the 90s Iron Man cartoon. I remember Whiplash. Don't give me no shit.
Remember a lot of things. Doesn't mean you cared about him.
Alright? I can't. Yeah, see, when I first started thinking about all these the other night after you left, everything was really high, and then I started thinking like deeper about it, and I said, you know what? I do have the problem where I hate how all the villains are handled in most of these fucking movies, and yeah, this big strikes against it.
It's a very telling statement right there. I was thinking about those things, and I was really enjoying myself, thinking about the positives. And then I thought a little more, and I was like, fuck those things.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Emery.
Hi, Emery.
It's already almost my birthday.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, only a month and a half to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, kid, you're a little early.
Joe, give me a number.
Iron Man 2. 77. The story and Mickey Rourke were meh. Downey was good. You know, the rest of the cast was good. We did get Black Widow, which was very
same
nice.
cast, man. Same cast. We know they're good, Joe.
Yeah,
we don't have to
we
belabor the
got,
point here.
Black Widow. We got Sam Jackson in there. You know, effects were the same. Yeah, it was not nowhere near as good as the first one. So yeah, 77. It's not up. It's not like high on my MCU list.
Kyle?
I am so proud to be the low score for this movie.
Wow, you went lower than I did.
I cannot tell you how annoyed I am when I see this movie on anything. I would say that I give this movie probably 20 points for Downey, 20 points for Cheadle, and the remaining points go to, I can't remember his name right now, but Justin Hammer.
Rockwell. Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
What are those?
So,
Okay, cool.
a 58 is what this movie deserves. Because, to me, outside of those three actors, there was not very much good about that movie at all.
This one, pretty much carried by my vote, got a surprising final number. And it was helped by the fact that Justin didn't completely eviscerate it.
I don't completely hate it.
72. Still 10.
That is easily 10 points more than it deserves.
That is a D.
It's so interesting.
It's a C. What are you talking about? What score did you go to?
What school did you go to? Because the 69...
F.
69 and below is an F.
Yeah.
So it was like 70 to 74 was a D? Don't fucking shake your head at me.
74 was a D. 75 to 82.
2.
Yeah, was a C. 82 to 90.
No, you guys are wrong.
No,
92
I'm
to
sorry.
100 was an A.
I'm sorry. We're not wrong.
You are wrong.
No, we're not.
92
because
to 100 was an A.
Those grades weren't
84
universal.
to 91 was a B. 83 to 75 was a C.
Not for us.
Yeah.
Dude, we're telling you. We're older than you. It's okay. But like a 70 was a D. So it was like 70 to 74, 75 was a D. 69 and under, F.
Wait, so what was your borderline for A? This doesn't make any sense.
It was 93 to 100.
Yes, 93 to 100. Yes, 93 to 100.
You had to work. You had to work for that shit.
Said it. Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of college then, where 60 was an F.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I mean, I'm like, it's been like 16 years since then, so.
Just saying. It's not a well-ranked movie.
No.
What's up next, boss?
Thor.
Oof.
The OG Thor. Before it started to get really good.
Wait.
Acting.
Wait.
So well before it started to get really good. Yeah, we had another album to come.
Okay.
Acting wise, we did have Anthony Hopkins in there.
Yeah.
We did have Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
We already knew. And Hiddleston and Hemsworth were dreamy. And good actors too. I'm gonna give it 23 for that. Story. Kind of enjoy it. Kind of great. Kind of, of course, I see that face. I'll give it a 20. Effects are still great, 22. And comics feel they took the fucking helmet off of them, so they only get 21.
It's still so high. It's fucking so high.
63. It's an 86.
So generous.
We may need to start listing these by median score instead of mean score.
I will give it one more point than I gave Iron Man 2. It gets a 69.
That's funny.
Is that because that's what you want to do to Hemsworth?
Absolutely. I don't think there was much of a story to it. It was a great, like, opening for Thor for, like, people that didn't know much about him. Effects-wise, it's not the best. And you're right, they took the fucking helmet off of him.
Yeah.
69. Joe.
I think it was 72. It wasn't a failure, but I'll hit a positive. Seeing Asgard was really cool. Hiddleston, huge bump. Portman, huge bump. I like Coulson. I like seeing S.H.I.E.L.D. We got our introduction to Hawkeye. It was funny. It did have its comedic moments. But as in the grand scheme of things, it is on the lower middle end.
Yeah, 72.
Yeah.
You checking your notes, Kyle?
No, Emery asked me to take a picture of her, so I was taking a picture of her. I gave this movie a 70, which may seem ridiculous since I just gave Iron Man a 58. Iron Man 2 a 58. But I think that this movie does something that... what the hell? This movie does something that Iron Man 2 didn't really successfully do, which is, to me, establish important characters that are going to carry through with the rest of the universe. Like, Iron Man 2 had Rhodey, but Rhodey was in the first one. He was just recast. So, in that way, I don't think Iron Man 2 really... Because you don't really get a lot of Black Widow in that. In this movie, you get Thor, you get Jane, you get Loki, you get Odin and Frigga. So really, you get 5 characters that are important to at least phase 1, if not phases 1 and 2 of the MCU. And I think that is worth the extra 12 points by itself.
Sure.
Okay. Group average on that one, 74.25.
Okay.
I mean, it all comes
That
out.
is so pitiful. That's only 2.5 points more than Iron Man 2. Like, it is so 10 points better.
I wouldn't go 10 points better. There's better
I know,
Thor.
because you went 1 point better.
There's better Thor movies.
It was the best villain of the MCU.
There's better
For
Thor
the first... Well, I mean, for the first 6 movies, technically.
He's more a fucking tweener than he is a villain.
Tell that to the movie that's coming up 2 movies from now.
That wasn't his pure villainy. He was mind fucked by other people.
He did kill a lot of folks.
Hey, gotta, break a few eggs and make an omelet or whatever the fuck they say.
How much time are we in?
We're only 28 minutes in.
That's kind of surprising.
I told you we were gonna get through.
Oh, so maybe I think we got to at least get through Avengers.
We should easily get through Avengers.
But Mike, you said you were prepped through Iron Man 3?
Dark World.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll do as many as you guys want then.
Yeah.
2 to 4 more to go, whatever.
Did you-
I think we should at least get through Avengers, though.
I mean-
Phase 1.
There's no reason that this should be less than an hour.
All right.
Well, there's no reason that it needs to be an hour.
We could go to the movie after Dark World, because everyone's going to give that 100 out of 100, right?
Considering that all the other filler shows are an hour or more, yes, we have to do at least an hour.
All right. Well, we can spend the next 15 minutes talking about how we want to make it an hour.
Hey, look, we could get caught up on
That'll
arguing.
definitely help.
We could get caught up on arguing some other movies. Like,
Okay, silly.
Captain America: First Avenger. Start on the next one. Acting. I didn't think he'd pull it off. I didn't think he'd embody Captain America so well. That's why I gave a 23 for acting. Story, it's pretty boilerplate Captain America. They didn't screw it up. They didn't really reinvent the wheel. The effects, they made it look like the 40s to me. I was not there. I cannot say. But for that reason alone, it gets a 24. No, sorry, a 22. And then overall comic feel, it's a 23. So an 88 for me. It wasn't, as far as I grade things, it's obviously a lot more lenient than everyone else. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it accomplished its task pretty swiftly. I have more feelings about the first Avenger.
90.
Go the other way.
Yeah, I love the first Avenger. Like, to me, it is one of the most comic book, like, spot-on storytellings that they've done. There was not much that they tweaked or fucked with. Everything was great. Red Skull, all of it. It was everything I wanted it to be. Joe.
I will give it an 85. Definitely loved the cinematography of the movie. The art design was great. They were giving that the 40s feel. I really liked that style. It had the acting, and one of the positives for me also was my dad had it on 3D Blu-ray, and that movie was actually shot in 3D before they started converting them. That was really cool to watch it in 3D. The comic feel was good, but as I said, in the grand scheme, it's middle of the pack. It's upper middle. I'll say that for me. It's upper middle.
An 85. Kyle?
Well, I'm happy to see that after, like, a couple movies where some of you were just grading in a crazy, crazy way, that we've kind of come back down to earth. Because I feel like after we were done grading Iron Man, we kind of went off the reservation a little bit. I like to bring it back home with a solid 87. I couldn't justify giving it the same or a higher score than Iron Man, so I went 1 point less than Iron Man, and that 1 point, maybe it would have made a difference, but I saw the first 13 MCU movies, or 12 of the first 13 MCU movies in the movie theater, and I don't know what happened. I can't remember what happened when Captain America came out, but for some reason, that was the movie that I missed of the first 13 MCU movies. So I didn't get to see it in theaters, and I think maybe that's the reason why I can't rate it as high as I rated Iron Man. But it's definitely, like, definitely rewatchable, and it's, for the most part, good enough to the point where, like, I have watched chunks of the movie with Emery before, which I probably wouldn't do with really any of the 4 movies that came before it.
It is very wholesome. Very, very child-friendly.
Yeah. I mean, also, one of my biggest crushes is in that movie. I fucking love
Chris Evans. Yeah.
No, Haley Atwell. I fucking love her.
Yeah.
Oh, a female. That's rare.
Yeah, it is rare. It is rare. Which means...
Very lower.
Mm-hmm.
Highest group average yet, not surprising based on those numbers we all threw out, 87.5.
Damn right.
Yeah, No argument there.
Let's try to keep the group averages to within half a point of what I say, okay, guys? I really like that. It make me sound smart.
Like you got your finger on the pulse there?
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, next up in line, the big one of the ultimate movies as far as I'm concerned. Acting. All those people together, not sucking, automatically gets a 23 for me. Story. He figured out how to retell the Avengers story from the original comic, essentially, but not make it look like it was. Effects, they fucking destroyed that city. It really looked like New York was fucked. So, 23. And comic feel, up to that point, nothing had ever felt more like it was ripped from a comic for me. Like, there were scenes that looked, like, as I'm looking at them, I'm picturing an artist overlay on top of it, so it gets a 24. That gets Avengers 93 from me.
$87.
I like how there's different, like, very varying criteria. I'll go through this meticulously, and, like, you'll honestly look up and be like, you know what? I'm feeling 87.
Yeah.
You don't have your numbers written down? I didn't notice that until just now.
Who, me?
You're just picking them out of the air.
Yeah.
Yo, him? Oh, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what do I think the average will be based on what number Mike said?
No.
What do I want the average number to be? Here's what I'm going to say.
You're giving me way too much credit to put that much thought
Mike,
into...
Justin's like, I want this to get an average of a 90, so...
no, I even told Mike that I'm going to be completely pulling from my gut.
Straight from the cockles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely where you're pulling from.
Straight from my balls. Yeah, it's incredible for what it was at the time. There's way better Avengers movies, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna bring it out of the 90s for me for sure. You know, again, it looks, for the time, it was awesome looking. Comparing it now, though, some of that shit doesn't hold up. The Leviathans don't look great now.
I didn't see any problem with them. They work fine for me.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, 87.
Joe?
I'm gonna go with a 90. For all you people out there in Nerdities land, we all saw this movie together.
Yes.
This was a Nerdities field trip.
Midnight showing, right?
It was, and we had a. Didn't we go to Ruby Tuesdays for that one?
No, you're thinking of Expendables 2.
Yeah, that was Expendables. But we did see Avengers together, though. That was in Brick.
That was it.
Yeah, I think we might have went to B-dubs.
Yeah.
Before?
Yes.
Pre-game?
No,
Probably
we
pre-game.
did. What the hell was it? The Famous Daves.
Was that a mandate night?
Oh, that probably was a mandate night.
That was Famous Daves.
Okay, wouldn't be shocked.
Meeting
Wouldn't
Avengers.
regret much. Okay, what is that? How does it apply? No, number wise.
So it gets an upper score because we all saw it together.
Okay.
The lasting impression, seeing all those characters together for the first time and their interactions, them playing off each other was great. Effects, they were good. They were really good. Like seeing the Chitauri all come out of the portal. New York get completely annihilated. Iron Man suit, the fight scenes, Loki. It definitely will get a good solid B+ for me.
Just descriptive technique. Word. Another thing that I like. Need some flowering in there, Joe. Why do you want to fuck this thing to death? What do you love about it so much you need to fuck it to death? That's your motivation. Okay, Kyle, I need a number for you too.
So I'm giving it a 90. Also, for a couple reasons. I think Justin made a good point that there's been better Avengers movies that have come out since this movie came out, but we all obviously loved it. And going into it, my biggest concerns were for the characters that we hadn't already seen. So, like, specifically, how would we feel about this new Hulk? And I think they knocked it out of the park in that movie. The I'm always angry thing, just that one moment crushed it for me. And then Hawkeye was the other character that I was like, how are they going to make him seem like he fits on this team in a theatrical release? And all of the no-look shots and shit like that, when he was on the rooftop and banking around and hitting people banking around corners and shit like that, I thought they paid him off very well in the movie, even though he was brainwashed for like half of it. And then the other thing, there was one scene in the movie that I think it might be the scene that I think about more than any other scene in the entire MCU. And it's the scene where Captain America is breaking up the fight between Iron Man and Thor in the woods, and they level the entire forest when Mjolnir hits the shield. And I thought that scene was so well done that there is no way I could give this movie lower than a 90. And the only reason I gave it as low as a 90 is because of how highly I think of a couple other movies in the MCU. And I couldn't give, 5 movies over a 95, I don't think.
That's from the heart right there. He meant that shit. Justin got his wish because he gave it an 87. That subconsciously influenced both Joe and Kyle to give it 90s. With my 93, I think we can all do the math right now. Yeah, it's a straight up 90.
See, I knew what Justin did.
I know you. What are you thinking? Iron Man 3. Love it or hate it, we gotta talk about it. Acting. For Ben Kingsley alone, I'm giving it 21.
There's a better Ben Kingsley movie in this list.
It's the swerve, though. Him going from character to character. He's never that Mandarin character really again, except for little quick moments. That swerve and him pulling it off is pretty great. But story-wise, beyond that, 19. Effects, they really didn't look great in this one. There's a lot of shoddy moments in this. 18. So then overall comic feel, people piss and moan about the Mandarin switch, but that was a pretty great fight at the end. 20. It gets a 79 out of me. It's a lot nicer than a lot of people would think, but for me, it feels like I'm being cruel to a Marvel movie. But no, straight up the middle. Actual and factual. Justin, reach up into the sky and grab that number.
65.
65. And don't besmirch you that.
Appreciates it. Mostly what you said. For me, it was more of a less of a Marvel movie and more of a Shane Black movie that just so happened to have Marvel characters in it. Yeah.
It did feel very detached. Especially like you're having a moment like that involves the president and Captain America doesn't get involved. It is one of those sticking points.
Yeah.
Doesn't even dip his head in for a second, like, oh, you need help? No, you're cool, you got this? Alright.
And like, low tech Iron Man's great, but Tony's supposed to be a fucking super genius. Like, I don't believe for 1 second if that motherfucker could build a suit in a cave in the middle of fucking Afghanistan that he couldn't cobble together something way better than a fucking soldering iron gun and some other shit. Like, I don't buy that. You know what? I talked myself lower. 61.
Oh, no, I'm sick. I gotta stick with the first one, so it came out of your mouth.
Fine.
You only have like 5 hours to do it. It's not like you had a week in a cave. Time is important.
Super genius.
Yeah, so is Wile E. Coyote. It doesn't always work out for him.
He's cheated death.
Both of them.
I'm going with a 65. This one will actually get into the F range. Out of the 3 Iron Man movies, this is definitely my least favorite. Positives I'll hit a positive. Seeing all the suits at the end was pretty cool.
He agrees.
You know, Ben Kingsley, he was great. I liked the dynamic between Tony and Harley. But it didn't have that MCU feel. It didn't have that. It definitely felt very much more just Shane Black.
What the French call a certain...
I don't know.
Je ne sais quoi.
Kyle, round us out here.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to give it a 62 because I did like it better than Iron Man 2, but barely. I'm giving it 4 points better than Iron Man 2, and I really, really didn't like Iron Man 2. So, yeah, I mean, I think the villain had the potential to be better, at least. You know, I didn't love that swerve. I actually kind of hated it, even though you guys were like, oh, that was so great when it happened. And it really just pissed me off. I think if they had done that slightly differently, I could have put this movie closer to a 70, but I just cannot bring myself to get it higher than a 62.
Iron Man 3 gets a Nerdity's average of 67.75. It fails.
That is a failure.
It fails this city. Something tells me, though, it might have a higher number than its follower.
I think we need to reassess what is a failure. I think we need to go to Kyle's grading scale of below 60 as a real failure.
No.
No millennial grading scale.
Yeah.
Because by that, no, that's I think.
No, none of your participation trophies. Fuck you, it failed.
I think by that metric, The Incredible Hulk is still a failure, but none of the other movies are failures.
I can live with that. They're just not great, but they're not completely failures. Yeah, I can live with that.
Well, it's Hulk isn't going to be lonely for much longer.
Hulk is always lonely. He's walking down that road of sun all by himself.
With the piano.
Yeah, playing. We have enough time to get 2 more in, you think?
Yeah, we're only at 41 minutes. We had plenty of
Yeah,
fucking
why
time.
the hell not?
Possible.
We had plenty of time.
All right, then, Thor the Dark World. Let's talk about Thor the Dark World. Acting. If for no other reason than Eccleston gave it his most with a shit character, this gets a 20 from me. For acting.
There's definitely acting in it.
There's a lot of acting in it. Story. One of the worst stories in the MCU ever. The story being so bad is the reason why we barely get any Eccleston, and he still manages to do a decent job with such a shit character. So it gets a 12 out of me. Effects, they're pretty good. They weren't bad. They were solid enough to get a 20. But overall comic feel, they strayed way farther away from what I'd want, so they get an 18. Thor is the first failing movie for me with a 60.
45.
Sorry, that was a 70. That's right, I had to say. You got 45 on this, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I wonder if this is going to be the new low.
There's not even anything for me to say.
Not a man to mince words.
You know, Justin, you're not wrong with the 45 because I will agree with your 45. I do know that there could have been potential with this movie, that a bunch of Eccleston scenes were cut and there was more to a story, but
Wasn't going to help it. Wasn't going to fucking help this thing.
it was just not good. The movie was just not good. That was like the first like MCU movie where I left and I was like, eh. Like Shield did Dark World better than Dark World.
Did you give your number?
45.
45?
Uh-huh.
Well, what a oddly similar number to Justin's.
Kyle.
So it's weird for me that this movie had a bunch of callbacks to the first one, and it also had that teleportation thing going on with it that I thought was a really cool sequence in the movie. Malekith, I thought, was like between him and Kurse, I liked the dynamic that like the real threat wasn't the brain behind the plant. Like I kind of always liked the dynamic that like you don't know who's really the threat at parts during the movie, or like the biggest threat. But at the same time, it was just a garbage movie. Like I thought that there were really cool moments in that movie, moments that like to me were a lot cooler than really any moments that happened in Iron Man 2 or 3. But yeah, 55.
Generous.
There's no way this is not the new winner-loser. 53.75. That is definitely the bottom of the barrel at this point.
Good. Good. That and Hulk deserve to walk arm in arm to the dungeon.
What's next?
At this point in the Great Marvel Adventure, this is the one everyone wants to talk about. This is the one we're all going to just suck the cack of together. Line up like circus seals for Captain America the Winter Soldier. Acting, 24. Because Redford, one of Redford's last movies. Redford said Hail Hydra in this fucking thing, and did it with gravitas. So yeah, 24. Story, probably the best story in all of them. A lot tighter and more concise than a lot of them. Yeah, it's still grand, so 25. Visuals, 23. There's very rarely a shitty moment in the whole deal. It loses some points for me because it didn't have as much comic feel as a lot of the other ones. It gets a lot more spy-like and a bit more grounded, so it gets away from the comic. In fact, it's still 93.
Yeah, I did.
91.
I was hoping you would say it with some happiness, but it's just not that kind of night.
Dude, you know what my life has been like.
Yeah.
It's a non-stop shit storm. 91. That's the highest rated movie I've done so far.
I was actually expecting more from you.
Well, a higher score?
Yeah.
It falls down to what you were saying about the comic book feel. Like, it's great. But it does lack that, like, spectacle of being a live-action comic book. There are movies that I will rate slightly higher because of that.
It is an important element.
It is an incredible spy movie.
Yeah. Keeps you guessing almost till the end, sometimes. Yeah. Joe, well, you lean back there.
A 92. I love.
Price is right in the shit out of Justin.
I love the dynamic between Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. They played off each other very well. Redford was great. Shield being Hydra was fucking. That was a great little twist there. Action scenes were fun. I liked the spy feel. I liked it.
You would,
this is true. I like the emotion that you felt for Steve.
That Peggy scene still. Like, watching it now, it's still like a punch in the gut.
Yeah. It was. I would say. It's definitely a solid B plus, like very, very, very high B plus for me.
Okay.
So we're all dudes. Okay. I think this movie is unmistakably, at this point in the MCU, the dude movie. I think that this is the equivalent, to me, of like when men and women watch Star Wars and men tend to side with Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? Like Empire Strikes Back, like the darker toned movies. But I kind of, in my brain, kind of think of this almost like the Empire movie of the MCU to this point, because
Not just Cap's story, like the whole thing.
yeah, like the idea that that Shield isn't what we thought it was, and like the downfall of the system that's backing the Avengers is falling apart from the inside. And for that reason, and the other thing that I think about this, aside from just the acting and all that other stuff, I think a lot of guys specifically, I hate to say it like this, but I mean, like, women obviously can vibe with this too, but I think a lot of guys can understand the feeling of like having a best friend, losing that best friend, and then like, while you're still mourning the loss of that best friend, making a new best friend. You know what I mean? Like, I think the dynamic of Sam in that movie is really underrated. Like, I don't think the movie hits as hard without Sam being like the potential of Cap to actually have a friend again. Like a real friend, not like a guy he goes to work with to save the world, but like an actual friend.
That opening sequence is still one of my favorite. I love the fact they didn't open with an action beat, that they gave it a character moment, and it lands so well. And got their relationship.
But I mean, yeah, I think in terms of like the character relationships built over the course of this movie, I think it pretty much shits all over everything that came before it, and that includes the original Avengers. So I'm giving it a 94.
Sam's group scene got real.
Yeah. This is also the first time I think I've had the highest score out of the group on a movie. That really shouldn't surprise anybody, though. Not for this one.
Captain America Winter Soldier gets a 92.5 overall rating for your friendly Nerdities crew.
All right.
Nice.
Well, someone out there could argue much higher. I doubt you will. Just a bunch of punk bitches. Oh shit. Justin's rubbing off on me now.
You got time for one more?
One more? Alright. Guardians of the Galaxy is where we land right now.
It's fitting that the four of us review this movie.
Acting gets a 23 from me. Story gets a 23 from me. Effects, with all the shit going on in that movie, might be one of the biggest, brightest... This was the biggest, brightest Marvel movie up to that point. This was a totally new way of looking at things. 24. And overall comic feel. Overall comic feel. Very beep for the pop of the boop. Overall comic feel was 23. Because they really did translate those characters, all five of them, perfectly. Well, Drax at that point was pretty close. He diverts a lot down the road, but he was a pretty spot-on Drax. Guardians of the Galaxy gets 94 from me.
Wow. Is that your high score? What's your score on Avengers?
I think it was 93.
Yeah,
Guardians is your high score.
Yeah. Surprised even myself.
91.
Okay.
I love the Guardians. It still holds up. The effects. Fucking music makes that movie. And, we fucking championed that thing.
It's all because of us.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
We should get a cut of that box office.
I did tell Mike, heading into this, that nothing's getting a perfect score.
I agreed with that. Nothing ever deserves a perfect score in life. There's always a flaw to be found.
But I think it's very fair, the score that I gave the first Guardians movie.
It was 91, right?
Yes.
Put that down. Really good.
Yeah.
Joe, toss a number my way.
I'm going with 93. It is an A minus. Gunn did hit it out of the park with this movie. It was fun. This movie was just the definition of fun. Justin said the music did make it. It totally made the movie. You fell in love with these characters from the get-go.
It made music important in movies again, and not just like the score, not just themes, like source music that was meant for the moment. But people weren't doing that for a while.
We also did get more Thanos than just the after-credit scene of the Avengers.
Yeah.
With the Thanos thing really cranked into gear.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Wow, it's weird that I went from the highest score to the lowest score, but not by much, because I'm giving it a 90. For me, I couldn't give it a higher score than I gave the Avengers, so I gave it the exact same score, because it's the second ensemble movie in the universe, and they did the ensemble cast in a way that was unique, but still just as successful. They kind of flipped the dynamic of seriousness versus comedy that existed in the original Avengers movie. Like the ratio, I think, was pretty much like a 180. And I liked that kind of the way they did with Hemsworth in the Avengers. I'd say probably Renner too, because I didn't really know Renner at all. They introduced actors and actresses that I was not familiar with and kind of made me fall in love with them right away. It was like, they're in one movie. I love them now.
Even the villains were endearing in that movie.
Yeah, the reason why I can't give it a higher, I think, is because of what they did to Ronan. I still am bitter about that. Like, I don't know how you don't ever bring him back.
Or bring him back in not an effective way. Like have 5 minutes in Captain Marvel and not do much with it.
Something, yeah.
The Last of the Night, Guardians of the Galaxy, gets an inarguable 92. For your
92 even?
92 even.
Wow. That's pretty good.
And who's going to argue with that? Like I said before, none of you, because you don't have it in you. Tag team complaining. This has been a Nerdy's production. Fuck bye. That's what we're
Wait. I wanna give a reverse rundown of like best movie to worst movie of the 10 that we went through. I think the listeners deserve that.
Oh, okay.
So the first 10 movies of the MCU, the best movie, as voted by us, was Captain America Winter Soldier, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy, followed by the Avengers, followed by Iron Man, followed by Captain America the First Avenger, then Thor, then Iron Man 2, then Iron Man 3, then The Incredible Hulk, and weighing us down at the caboose is Thor the Dark World.
I still think Hulk's a worse movie than Thor the Dark World.
I think it is incredible that through only 10 movies, we have a range of scores, of average scores, that runs from 92.5 to 53.75.
That trend, you'll see it continue.
It's almost like these movies were not in the same universe at all.
There's gonna be such ebbs and flows moving forward, and it's gonna get ugly because I know there are sequels to these things that Mike loves that I absolutely fucking despise.
Yeah, we haven't gotten Age of Ultron yet.
Nope. Or Guardians 2.
Yeah. I don't know why you're going to shit on that one's mouth.
Yeah,
At the 10 picture mark, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has an average of 77.375, which I don't think I completely agree with, but as I said earlier, it's hard to argue math. You want to end this the normal way? We just end it.
No, it's up to Kyle. Kyle, do you feel like doing your spiel?
Sure. As always, if you like what you hear, you can like us on Facebook.com/Nerdities, follow us on Twitter @Nerdities, email us at nerdities@gmail.com, and check out nerdities.com.
While you're there, fuck yourself. Then, go to tpublic.com, search Nerdities, click on the shop, peruse it, you won't buy it. You're not as good as my other fans on my other podcast, Can't Stop the Rope Drop, who just keep buying that fucking Disney's Iron Chef shirt. We sold another one.
When? Today?
Last night.
This is getting weird. Happy, but it's getting really weird.
People love that fucking shirt, dude.
Do you know how crazy it would be if we go down there and see someone wearing it? I know the probability of this.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It would be, but it would be so fucking cool. So cool. Anyways, those are about cool people. We're talking about the fucking Nerdities pores. Then head over to sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com and peruse that too. And realize that you're too poor to afford my cheaply priced cookies in comparison to, like, Crumble. So, then maybe you should just staple your fucking forehead. I don't know. Eat shit and die. Joe?
Well, I love you guys. So check us out on youtube.com, youtube.com/nerdities. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell when new content is coming, because new content is here. That's right, folks. Nerd ETs, our cooking show where nostalgia comes to eat, is up on YouTube right now.
Ooh.
I don't know if I love or hate that.
Ooh,
slogan.
that made my fucking nips hard, bro.
Be sure to like all of our videos, share our videos, drop us a little comment.
Fucking Joe, look.
Did you really got
it? Fucking around.
Right there.
Ooh.
We also have in the works a Halloween special, a Christmas special, the final installment of the Joe trilogy entitled The Justice League, and there is a feature film in the works. We need a budget for this stuff. Money is good. Money helps us do things better.
The Halloween special's in the fucking can already. Edited, commercial, it's all ready to go.
It's gonna be great.
It's fucking good. Don't expect it to be super funny, because the comic is not super funny. But the commercial for it, though, Jeff's kiss.
You want to see us? You want to see us and hear us do more of this stuff? Give us money. We need budget. Become an executive producer. See your name in lights. Write to us at nerdies@gmail.com, because we'll croon, we'll spoon, we'll talk about business and our product.
Deep breath, Joe. The opinions of the Nerdities crew are idiotic and poorly thought, but don't worry, next week's will be far more insulting. And here's what we say: bye-bye.
Now swallow, Joe.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.